Ramble.
This episode of the TryPod is brought to you by DoorDash. Use code TryPod for 25% off your order of $15 or more. Also, thank you to Purple, Tushy, BetterHelp, and Zen Business for sponsoring. Okay, let's do it.
Did you talk about Miles's wedding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You did.
Oh, we did.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah. Did you talk about how awesome Miles's parents are?
No, we didn't.
I
We
think I
didn't.
spoke to each of them for
They were
at
very
least,
nice.
at least 45 minutes
what
each.
Eugene-
I saw,
Yeah, we
Eugene
got
talked-
into very intense conversations about life and education. And
Yeah, they're teachers. Oh, they used to be. They retired.
They were cool. I was like, wow, these are some cool-ass white
Well,
parents.
Keith and I were ruining Miles's wedding. He was just charming the pants off his parents.
You're
After
charming.
that, I was charming lots of individuals.
You also spent some time with my parents.
I did.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we ruined it because we were so charming.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Miles, your father has a ponytail.
Oh, he's a ponytail, and yeah.
That's
And you were going to
so
say
tall.
pony.
Well,
That's
we used to have a
cool guy.
pony, but I got struck by lightning.
What?
Yeah.
Did it survive?
It did not
Did it
survive.
become a magical
It
pony?
did not make.
I bet
would
that
be-
was traumatic.
That was the cartoon.
Was it,
Why would you tell us that
Was
story?
it secretly
Do you
a
know how
unicorn?
much I like ponies?
I feel like I've told you the story before. It got struck by lightning. There was a storm. Lightning struck the tree, went down the tree and up the root. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by Eugene Lee Yang.
Wait, no, come back. Bring it back
It went
to that.
up the root.
to the
Yeah,
pony.
it went down the tree, up
Yeah.
the root, and then caught the pony by the hoof.
Yeah, the pony was
no.
standing on a
Does he-
root.
Did he have
No.
horseshoes?
He had, I don't know.
'Cause
I think
that would-
so. Yeah,
Well, it's the worst place to
Metal
stand
would
is
do it.
near
Oh,
any
yeah.
sort of tree.
Under
or
a tree.
Got the
That's so
conductor.
crazy because normally
Yeah.
lightning's just trying to get to the ground.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
true.
trying to come back up on top. It just wants to go back to the earth for some reason.
We got the entirety of the tree.
What
Got all-
was the
whole
pony's
tree.
name?
Well, we had two. We had a horse and a pony. Chance and Flowers.
Flowers died.
It was Flowers, not Chance.
Chance was also alive.
Chance would
risked
have
it.
it.
He
It
risked
did not get struck by lightning.
You gotta risk it to get the sea biscuit.
When
That's right.
lightning hits the ground, does it keep going? Because where's it go?
I imagine the
it
charge
goes-
diffuses out throughout the ground.
Does it hurt the surrounding?
dirt.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah,
and if you're
does it hurt
standing
the
on
dirt?
it, yeah.
But I don't know if dirt can get hurt
Hurt.
by negative or positive charges as much as people that have water in their bodies
What
can.
about all the snails in the ground and the worms?
they definitely
You
got-
think they get
yeah,
fried?
they probably
Fried,
get fried.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They probably get like fucked.
Well, R.I.P.
little
Flowers.
worms.
Yeah.
I would have
Sorry,
told you
Flowers.
that that's how unicorns are made and that he's flying in the sky now.
That is a good story.
I mean, if
Yeah.
it were a metal pole on his nose, that would have really been dangerous. As
If
a
he had a
unicorn,
unicorn
if
horn?
he had a metal pole for
or
a
just a
unicorn
metal
horn.
pole in his nose.
yeah,
Unicorns are basically
Earring.
lightning rods.
They basically
Piece of
are.
rebar.
Like
Yeah.
I know they're made out of horn, but probably some of them have like metallic
Oh,
traces.
there's definitely
No.
magic
No.
metal.
They're made out of magic.
made it.
there's
Oh,
probably
well,
something
magic is very
radioactive in there.
conductive.
Yeah, that's true. You ever seen a magic wand? Sparks are always flying.
They
out
used to
of that thing.
think electricity was magic.
Yeah, it did.
It kind of
well,
is.
I kind of
Ways,
still think that
it
sometimes.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Batteries? What the fuck's up with that?
Right? I do think about that all the time. I'm like, what do you mean it's running out of energy? Where's it going? Nothing's coming out of that thing.
Stored
It's not like
chemical
it's
energy.
full of juice. What kind of juice is in
Yeah,
there?
where's it go?
Anyway, your parents are cool, Miles.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
I like them. They're good people.
No, I'm calling them cool.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
You
dad
guys
is a cool dad. He's
Ever
like
been
an
to a
inventor.
dinosaur museum?
Oh my god.
They feel magical.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like, am I at
dinosaurs?
a set of Lord of the Rings? No, this is real life.
I mean, no wonder they thought dragons were real.
Yeah.
They would just find big ass skulls and be like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
this is scary. They must still be here.
Well, a lot of times
Scary.
they used to think, because I randomly do research on mythical beasts.
Of course.
They would assume a beast like biblical ones, like behemoth or something. It was actually just like a hippo. But they would
yeah.
blow it out of proportion and say this gargantuan creature.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't know, Miles's pony.
Right.
Miles's
Right.
electrified
If you
pony.
assemble a horse set of skeleton bones wrong, you can make freaky looking monsters.
Or even if you see
you can make a freak.
You see a hippo in the wild, it's a little dark. There's a little misty haze. You just or you get
What's that?
scared. How are you going to tell that
Well, there's
story?
the huge
If you
movement.
don't know the word
That
hippo,
looks like a-
you're going to say it's a giant beast that
Yeah.
was a water beast.
In the water.
But if you think about it, there's a huge movement in paleontology where if you look at the skeleton of a hippo and then you look at an actual hippo, he has so much chonk
Yeah.
and floof around it, like owls,
yeah.
that why would a T-Rex, for instance, actually look so close to its skeleton? What if they were adorable chonks?
They had badonkadonks.
Yeah.
T-Rex.
They could have just been rolling around.
You're just covered in like 3 feet of fat in every direction.
I love that.
Just chubby little dinosaurs running around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then they would have to eat even more.
There used to be giant bears. They were like 2 or 3 times the size.
That's horrifying.
So I assume those were also the bears are like floofy, fat, cuddly.
Yeah.
So he must have been floofy, fat, cuddly, scary.
I've seen those videos in Russia where they just are like silly bear and the bear's just partying with them.
Yeah. I don't know what the Russians doing to their bears.
Those Russian bears.
Did I tell you
they're
guys
so
I made
wily.
the mistake of telling my 3-year-old that the dinosaurs died from a comet?
Did he get upset?
Once I was in, I had to really explain the whole thing of like, there was ash that blocked out the sun, and then it killed all the plants, and then they had nothing to eat. And he was like,
true.
"Oh, yeah." And he was telling other people like, "Yeah, well, see what happened was there was a big comet, and then the dinosaurs didn't have anything to eat, and they all died." And I don't know if I felt proud, but I did feel accurate.
He's got some cocktail party conversation.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you guys hear the dinosaurs died, right?
About the dinosaurs.
Yeah, anyway.
I appreciate the education.
Yeah.
I usually think that starts hitting around 2nd or 3rd grade when you're that one kid in the class who says, actually, Santa can't fit down chimneys. What about the houses without chimneys?
Well, he slides in them.
Yeah.
he goes through the
like a rat.
hot water heater. Comes out the shower head.
I think it'd be funny if I still believed in Santa.
Me too.
No, there's a cutoff age for that for sure.
You think it gets sad?
I think it gets really sad.
Our Christmas movies always end with like Santa being real and like 2 of the parents being like, "Oh, fuck." I really would love to see a sequel to a Christmas movie so we can deal with the reality.
It just turns into Beautiful Mind where they're like,
Now, what else is real? What else is real? Everything I know is a lie. Their marriage is like over. They're like, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah, you should start the movie at the end of children's Christmas movies with making like an adult thriller.
Them just falling apart.
That's so funny.
Santa's real.
Well, if you're listening in for the first time in a long time, then nothing's changed. But Eugene, you're back in the stew, and we haven't even mentioned it yet.
Woo!
Surprise, bitches.
Eugene's back, baby.
We got biscuits.
We got biscuits.
Well, we have biscuit. And I'm eating the whole
one
biscuit.
biscuit.
I kept taking it by chunks to let other people have some biscuit, but nobody did. So
Yeah.
I just finished the biscuit. But Eugene is here.
Yeah. What's up, Eugene?
What is not up?
How's the last couple months been since we caught up with you? I feel like I'm on a daytime talk show and Carrie Underwood is here, and I'm like, it's our new segment, Catching Up with Carrie.
Why am I Carrie Underwood?
I just feel like she's like stock, daytime talk show.
Gotcha.
Also, I saw a segment one time that was literally called Catching Up with Carrie, and it was Carrie Underwood. And I was like, is this what celebrities just do? They go on talk shows and just talk about their lives.
I guess so.
Well, why don't we make it a talk show segment then?
All right.
All right.
That's
So you 3 are the View hosts.
Yeah.
Minus the terrible one.
I'm gonna be controversial.
Yeah. So
Say some bad stuff.
wait, do you want to be the terrible one that they always have that's yelling the
as long
contrary
as nobody
things?
cuts episodes like parts of this episode out of context. Yes.
That's true.
All right. And Miles, you're the central host, so take it away.
All right. Well, that is just about going to do it from our remote producer in the kitchen. But we have a very special guest here.
Special being a key word.
I think it is really special. It is really special that they're here. And I'm really looking forward to catching up.
Absolutely. You know him from Try Guy, and he's spooky, he's fantastic, he's fabulous. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Eugene,
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Yes. Hey, what's up? The Chatterboxes. That's the name of this show.
Yeah, the chatterboxes. Yeah.
And Keith, tell me again, what was your claim to fame to be a host on this?
Killed horses until I was 15. I killed the most horses of any 15-year-old.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That's horrible.
And that got you this job.
Yeah. He has 8 million Facebook followers.
I made some books after that, but I think it really started with the horses.
Yeah, the assassination.
Oh yeah, because
romance novel.
I made all my money on romance novels, but I killed a lot of horses before that. I like to think that's why I got famous. I only sold the book because people knew me as the horse killing author.
The horse killing gal.
You know, it's funny, Keith. There's all these gimmicks that promise a great night's sleep. It's lipstick on a pig. If you're sleeping on a terrible mattress, your sleep will be terrible. It's that simple. That's why we recommend sleeping on purple mattresses.
That's because only purple mattresses have the Gel Flex Grid.
It's super stretchy, ultra squishy material that adapts and flexes around pressure points and doesn't retain heat.
The Gel Flex Grid is amazingly supportive for your back and legs while cushioning your shoulders, neck, and hips. Why can't I have the pillows? You know, you're always, when you have a pillow, you're like flipping it over trying to get to the cool side of the pillow. What if I told you that the pillow stayed cool all night long?
Getting a great night's sleep starts with having a great mattress. Get a purple mattress. Go to purple.com/TryPod10 and use code TryPod10. For a limited time, you can get 10% off any order of $200 or more. That's purple.com/TryPod10. Code TryPod10 for 10% off any order of $200 or more. Purple.com/TryPod10, promo code TryPod10. Terms apply.
Yeah. Well, Eugene, you've been on the channel a little bit, but you haven't been on the podcast in about 6 months.
No. And I am very excited and honestly like a little nervous to announce several things here for the Chatterboxes.
An explosive.
But yeah, I think what I should clarify up top and share this far and wide, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, I'm not leaving the Try Guys. Let's just make that clear. Let's make that explicitly clear. I think that I want to take the time to explain what I am doing and will forever be working on, but also just lay down a little bit of some hard truths, which is Try Guys, I will not leave. I am also working currently on many, many projects that started well before the Try Guys. I think what people don't recognize is that they only see one side of, say, a public-facing personality or group, and most people associate groups with younger teenage pop stars.
Yeah.
Who, of course, when you're 20 and you get an opportunity that's new, something happens where someone leaves. It's a very like tried and true storyline in media and entertainment. That's not what we do here at the Try Guys. I started the Try Guys with y'all when I was like almost 30. So I already had many, many years where I was already working on the projects that I'm currently working on. So in fact, people thinking that working on something else is in some way a signifier of this is now when I leave the Try Guys. I already had added the Try Guys into and on top of the work I was already doing. So I just never really talked about it. I think that's kind of the detriment that was probably my upbringing is, you know, my dad and mom always said, never say things that you are doing unless it's done. You know, they said that you can always talk the talk, but you have to walk the walk. So, you know, I have been notoriously private about a lot of what I've been, you know, developing just because whether it was working for a company where we were worried about, say, them using or taking the IP versus, you know, just not wanting to say that I'm just writing something and then not having it come to fruition.
Right, because what if you were a failure?
Exactly. That's exactly what my my parents would say. No, but interestingly enough, that's
true.
what I had. My dad always said like there's always someone out there who might work harder than you or succeed faster than you, and you just have to put your head down and you got to work until you have something that you can show for it. So this year, it just so happened that many of my projects came to a place of fruition in which they demanded most of my time. And those that I can tell you now, which is very exciting, as some people have probably already guessed, one is my first feature film.
Wow.
Which has been, you know, primarily my dream and my aspirations and my education have been built towards writing and directing. And so I can say that I have been developing with a production company called Killer Films, which is...
Who's that?
Well, it's extremely, extremely exciting because they are, if anything, a powerhouse in the independent production company world. They are, in fact, cited for a lot of the queer cinema movement. And so they produced films like Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Boys Don't Cry, Far From Heaven, the one and only Carol.
Wow.
So I'm really humbled and blessed to be able to have this opportunity. While that's happening at the same time this year, it wasn't just me taking time off to work on the screenplay. I've also been writing my first novel, which is another horse entirely. If anyone out there is...
I know about that. I know what you do about that.
He knows what I'm talking
Can't
about.
kill them till they're full grown. That's the rule.
That's right.
But
That's your lightning.
That's horrible.
That's your lightning.
fiction writing comes with a whole different set of demands. So that has been taking a lot of my time.
Right,
up.
you have to write like a lot of it before you even go out to market with it.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Some people write even the whole novel.
Yeah.
If you're not as well known, I think Eugene can get away with writing like
A bit less.
several chapters still.
Well, I've been writing it already now for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the writer's lifestyle, typewriter, cold, hard cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and like a dimly lit room would suit you very well.
Cold?
I do enjoy
Novelist
that.
coffee? Well, I meant like a hard, like cold as in like the energy of it, but it is a hot cup of coffee.
It's a hot cup of coffee, but it's
sort
like
of the
no
energy.
sugar.
Yeah.
It's like,
harsh.
It's harsh.
I've been glued to my computer for the past year,
Yeah.
which has been, really fulfilling. I thrive off of very high effort style projects. Even though you might not see it the next day, like we have the opportunity to do on digital, I am very, committed to these stories. And the third thing I also do right now is that I sold a graphic novel, so I'm also writing that.
So cool.
That is cool. I can't tell you more about them right now because of the contracts, but those are three major things that have been happening that are continuing to happen. And, I think it's a good time to also express, some lessons I've learned and things that I hope the audience can take from this, which is especially for people who are, striving in those areas as writers or as artists. None of these came easy, all of these projects I started in some way as a story over 15 years ago. And you all have that project you're sitting on since you're like 20, that you want to do. And even with my, I guess, notoriety online, most of the doors I knocked on and the pitches I had to go into for the past 10 years, I still had doors shut on me because it's an uphill battle. Even though
I'm sure that's inspiring to the audience. Even if you have millions of followers, you can still get
That's the truth.
No,
it is
the truth.
it is the truth.
So keep working.
I think we're so used to seeing, especially for young people these days, they see some digital creators who get so famous that things are in some ways handed to them. And it really isn't the case. Like, still people will appraise what I do without knowing me. And they'll say it's too weird. It's too left of center. It's too bizarre, which now I am just like, fuck it. That's me. I'm just going to keep running with it. But, pitching your identity, your unique stories it's a tough process. And it certainly is something that I am very happy that things are finally coming together at age 35, that I have the opportunity starting to open up. But that took, Keith can probably say the same about his improv and musical comedy career. Like, it takes the nights to work it. It takes the time after the job to really put in the work. And that's something I think everyone can relate to, and hopefully know that eventually opportunities will open up. But even for me, it's been really difficult. And I think, especially in worlds like fiction and traditional TV and film, like what they will look at in the end is the story, and they'll look at your vision, so to speak. Coming back to it then, Try Guys will always be a part of my work. I think it's just that this was a moment where the sheer magnitude of opportunity I just have to tackle it. And so while I won't be back on the channel in a permanent sense, as some might want, as in every video or tripod, I'm going to continue to try to come back as much as possible in whatever free time I have. And of course, to honor large series and, fun things whenever we want to just hang out. And hopefully I'll come back more to the TryPod as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that if I can find the free time, I want to make sure that I still honor one of my best relationships, which is with everyone listening, which is our audience. Because the big thing is that, these are, I keep reiterating, like, these are passions of mine that have never died. And the only reason they were kind of put to the side or on the back burner over the past 7 years is because I actually love working with the Try Guys, and I really love our audience. There's really no other reason. If I didn't like my friends, I would have never started a company with them, you know? So I just kind of want people to know I might not be in every video, but I'm there in spirit. And I hope that it's a really wonderful opportunity for us to, make good on a lot of things we've talked about, which is try to platform more diverse voices and have different, people that are amazing get their stars risen like miles over here, so we can, introduce the world to people who are just, like, at the very least good to their core and ready to try something new. So yeah, I think it's exciting for everyone all around.
As a person who, like, when you were a little boy, you dreamed of writing novels, writing graphic novels, making movies.
Yeah.
Do you have a little bit of that thing that now, like, the things that you started working on so long ago as a little kid, and you're like, oh, that tiny, like, piece of what I wanted to do is now coming to fruition?
Dude, it's so weird because so much of it, well, some of these things are semi-autobiographical. And of course, everything I do is both very Asian American and very, very, very queer. But the especially in the fictional universe and, like, fiction writing, I can't tell you what it is, unfortunately, but there is a lot of wonderful ideas that were probably planted when I was extremely young, like middle school, high school, that make it into even a story over 20 years later. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I that's why I think that even if you have, you think that everything is shit that you do when you're 8, and then when you're 18, and then when you're in college or whatever you're doing in your day job, those things matter. They build blocks towards what eventually will hopefully be that Olympus that is the first, like, major piece of writing or literature or film or media that you publish. So yeah, it's kind of wonderful. It's weird how I think a lot of it is becoming so, and this is kind of like a bottom line too, because I didn't want to make people feel like, oh God, he's where he is and he still gets doors closed on him. That's just the industry. And I'm still like a gay Asian man running around with a crazy idea. It's not like people are like, let's hand him something. It's the feeling of being able to walk into those situations with the utmost confidence in your story. And that's what I also feel like I lacked, and I think a lot of people who are really young don't necessarily have yet the full grasp of every angle of the story because they're still living it. So I'm just very happy to be in a place where I can kind of walk into any room and say, this is exactly what I want from A to Z in this film or in this novel. And y'all can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
No clapping necessary.
I think that's inspiring to a lot of young artists out there, because it's really tough to do creative projects like that, especially bigger things, and to try and understand how you might even break in, but developing that sense of confidence in yourself and your story so that you can, walk into these rooms and sell it to people wholeheartedly, I think is really awesome.
Well, it's the holiday season and your family smells terrible. That's part of life. But what if your booty hole could be cleaner than it's ever been before?
Hello Tushy bidets are a great gift for your eco-conscious cousin, neat freak sister, farty dad, or anyone who poops, because we all poop. We all deserve a better clean while contributing to a healthier planet.
Stop spreading your business around your butthole with toilet paper and start washing with Hello Tushy.
If you got poop on your hands, what would you just
wipe it off with a paper towel and keep going? No.
No.
You'd wash your hands 30 times. You'd freak out and probably go home and go to bed.
With the Hello Tushy bidet, you wash your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper.
Give the gift of a clean bum to yourself or your loved ones this holiday season and get 10% off plus free shipping right now at hellotushy.com/tryguys. And tag us and Hello Tushy on social media so we can celebrate your clean bum. Let me know if your butt is clean, guys. Let me know. That's hellotushy.com/tryguys for 10% off and free shipping. We started our own business. It was pretty cool, and I will say we were kind of clueless at the beginning. If only we had had a tool, Ned.
You don't need to be a business expert to start your own business. I mean, we certainly weren't.
We weren't. If only we had had Zen Business, because Zen Business empowers you to turn your awesome idea into a money-making company by helping you create, run, and grow your own business all from one platform.
Zen Business. They know the business stuff. Starting business doesn't mean you have to be an expert at everything. Zen Business makes the business stuff easier so you can stay focused on your passion. The Zen Business platform gives you everything you need to turn your idea into a money-making business and run it with ease, like fast and simple business formation for an LLC, nonprofit, or other structures. You can secure an employee ID number so you can open a bank account, hire employees, and protect your personal assets.
Zen Business has helped hundreds of thousands of people get their business off the ground by guiding them every step of the way and making it easier to launch a successful business.
Get started today for as low as $49 at zenbusiness.com/tryguys.
That's zenbusiness.com/tryguys.
So yeah, that's our plan. Is Eugene will be dropping in on the TryPod intermittently, and then we'll be block shooting some of our major series together and videos throughout. You may have noticed that.
I'm sorry,
not
I'm so distracted by Keith eating.
He just put his whole hand in his mouth.
How do y'all do podcasts? How do y'all do podcasts while y'all are eating?
Never have food. I'm so excited.
We don't always.
We don't always. We got a big day today.
We had donuts sometimes. These are flaky foods.
It's just hard to eat. It's really falling apart. And
I was so sorry to interrupt, Ned.
Yeah,
Continue.
what was I saying?
You were
Anyway,
saying something
we're doing
really
lots of things.
wonderful.
He'll be here, kind of intermittently. We not every video has the four of us in it anymore anyways. We do some solo Keith projects, solo Ned, whatever. But we're going to be testing out new faces on the channel at Try Team, as you've already seen. And we'll make an effort to have, these hero videos and hero series with the four of us so that it's exactly what you know and love. And an exciting thing that we can announce is on November 20 something, basically this November we have Without a Recipe coming back, holiday series.
Oh yeah,
howdy!
All four of us making crazy things, and it'll be very, very exciting. We also are filming a bunch of videos today, so
He's got to eat to be ready for it.
yeah,
He's got 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. day today.
Oh, hot! That's a long day.
that's right, big day.
We did.
And I think it'd be helpful for me to be, from now on, more transparent with the audience.
Yeah.
Because now that I've reached a certain point where I can talk more about these things, hopefully that'll be helpful. We don't want to make it amorphous or mysterious.
Yeah.
Because if I'm off literally in production for a film, then just know that doesn't mean I won't be back. In fact, I would love to take a break and come back and hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
But it's, I think that's just the reality of what life and work is sometimes you won't always see your best friend, but your best friend is never really gone. You know?
That's right.
Because they were never really there.
Because I was a ghost.
Part of it is like,
Gengar.
we've been having this way of working where we just kind of are shooting like every couple of days, and we're all like in the office all the time. And I think we're going to be moving towards, especially as we are each getting more busy, where we have different professional conflicts, where we'll take like 2 or 3 weeks to shoot a lot, and then take a month where we aren't shooting as much, right? Because it's just, I don't think we're gonna have that ability to just be getting videos every once in a while. So, but if we shoot like 10 videos in a week or 20 videos in 2 weeks, like That's a lot of content.
That's a lot of content, baby. That's a lot of horses.
And we can start a new segment where we just FaceTime you and see if you pick up on the podcast.
It's too busy.
Too busy today.
What's the last sentence you wrote?
Maybe sometimes he'll be pooping and then he can kind of pick up.
I usually respond to texts faster.
Okay, yeah.
FaceTimes and calls make me nervous.
Not just surprise
I get
FaceTimes.
I get that.
There's nothing more intense than surprise FaceTime from someone you haven't spoken to in 3 months.
I love it.
Why is this happening to me?
I love it. That's like running into them at the grocery store.
It's like running into them in your bathroom.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out of my bathroom.
What's the writing project that you've found like the most surprising, the most difficult, and the most fun?
Ooh, okay. So I have to say, hands down, the novel.
Yeah.
Across the board, because I studied screenwriting, which actually, if you are interested in screenwriting, there's actually a very specific format you write in. Mm-hmm. You can't go on to flights of fancy. There's no like necessary like internal explanations of characters. When they're doing any sort of your character building is essentially a very show don't tell, and it's the opposite and an open world for fiction.
You could just dive off into their own thoughts and emotions for
exactly.
5 paragraphs.
And then you also are establishing both your writer's style and then on top of that, whatever genre you're writing in has its own set of demands. So it's been extremely fulfilling, though I will tell you that it's just been essential like hours upon hours upon hours of researching and mulling over just like one tiny little thing that'll then expand into a million different branches. And that's been really wonderful from a creative perspective. But again, it's like, I think something like writing a fiction novel is one of the most prime examples of like high effort, small reward.
Is it like what they say where you write like 5 times as much as you actually use?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I have like maybe thousands of pages now of just things I've been jotting down that probably won't ever make it in. And I think that's been, I like operating that way. I don't think everyone wants to do that in an artistic sense. It's like, it's not very great for general time management, but it is part of the process, I think, of writing stories. And so the freeing aspect of that is really, really cool and fulfilling. I think if anyone's ever just like trying to get in touch with themselves as a writer, then writing in the fiction space is really cool, just to be seeing like exactly what you would put on the page if you were given like complete freedom to do what you like. Obviously I really love writing film and TV, but that does have structures that you have to follow.
Yeah.
So,
and you're also writing with some, I mean, everyone would love to write a blue sky $500 billion budget movie, but like there's this dance you're doing between what you're putting on paper and the dollars that it's going to cost on screen. And like, you might get asked to do a rewrite that takes out this plane driving into a hangar to.
Right. So we can't afford that. Could a nice car drive into a garage?
I mean, it's an interesting conundrum that especially affects film. Like you watch those how these movies were made. You hear the story of, say, Back to the Future, the iconic scene in front of Town Hall with the clock and the lighting. That originally in the script was a nuclear test site.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
Movies
then they said, hey, we don't have the budget for that.
Yeah.
So they said, oh, fuck. Well, I guess we'll do something clever here on the set we have. And it turned out to be one of the most iconic scenes in movie history.
And you can go in Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Go by the clock
There's
tower.
something wonderful about like the constraints that the commerce side of art does provide. There's a lot about that is totally shitty and I hate dealing with, but some of those budgetary constraints end up leading to more brilliance, which is cool. Sure.
We love your personal story about being gay and Asian, but we were thinking maybe setting it in a Midwestern town with white people.
Keith, are you going to take a poop? Or?
Thoughts?
I need a tissue. Why are there no tissues?
Oh, there's a disinfectant wipe.
I can't blow my nose with that.
Okay, cool. Here's a question.
You're suggesting that he blows his nose with a disinfectant
It's going to kill the...
Oh my God, save it
Really
for
hurt.
the advice. Oh my God.
Here's a question, and I've always wondered, you're writing this thing, a billion pages at this point.
Yeah.
Microsoft Word or Google Docs or what?
Oh, that's a good question.
Microsoft Word.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
but there's
you can
specific
track changes or
the hard
not?
thing about the publishing world is there's like the spacing rule,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
everything is also like spaced out. I have always had the issue of overwriting, which is good in literature, but the going from 1 point space to 2 or 1.5 at least is like really throws me off, just because what is 2 pages becomes 4 pages. So I just had to like alter that in my
They
head.
want everything in double space? Oh, wow.
Or 1.5 at least, depending on the doc.
So they
Sounds like a good high school project.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Courier new.
I know, right? Yeah, just like size 12.5 font.
Yeah, but I think for sure anything more traditional or conventional in the space, I don't think anyone's writing a novel in Google Doc unless because there's like
that's a good point. I just
No,
was
no.
just like I only use Google. I don't even use.
there's some
Word
like
anymore.
notes functions that are very akin to what Google Doc adapted in Microsoft Word that I've only discovered through this process that the editor will bring back and be like, oh, this, and
Wait,
I'm like,
what
oh, wow,
software
that's
do you
really
say
cool.
you're writing in?
Word.
Still exists?
Yeah, Word still exists.
I love
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft Word.
We used it for our book.
I mean, I like it.
I think Google Docs is cleaner, but I get that Word is more functional. Probably. This
Also-
is such
I'm
a
sure
boring
it's
conversation.
better.
We got to move on.
No, hold on.
and also, the standard is still Times New Roman.
Really?
Yeah, no Calibri
Wow.
happening. Yeah,
The serifs are out of control.
I think it's time for a new Roman.
Times New Age Roman.
Just think if the Romans conquered America, it wouldn't be New York.
How do you
New
think they would have
Rome.
gotten here?
I had a harrowing weekend, you guys.
Okay.
So we were filming one of our biggest projects.
Let me, before you get into it, let me just
Yeah,
grab a pastry.
You just grab a
Oh my God.
Keith is gonna eat all the pastries.
I worked out yesterday, now I'm hungry.
Okay.
Oh, I just got back from the grocery store and I got everything we wanted. Oh, I forgot the broccoli. Keith, we're gonna have to get divorced. No, honey, DoorDash can bring me the broccoli right now. DoorDash, guys, you know it for getting your food like your fast food or your other restaurants, but it can also bring you grocery essentials, home essentials. Maybe you need a mop. Everything can be brought to you through DoorDash, and ordering is easy. You open the DoorDash app, you choose what you want from where you want it, and your items are going to be left safely outside your door with a contactless delivery drop-off setting. For a limited time, you guys can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code TryPod. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code TryPod. Don't forget, guys, that's code TryPod for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply.
We filmed our first travel job in 2 years. We had this opportunity to go up to a professional diving facility in San Francisco, jump off the tallest high dive in California. It's like a 10-meter platform, which is 33 feet. And we were going to train in a facility with trampolines and bungee cords where you can actually learn how to flip and rotate your body. And we were going to do actual flips off of a giant high dive.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was going to be me and Zach, and then Zach wasn't available. Keith was out of town. Eugene was writing. So then it was just me. It was me and Michelle Carey and Ryan Garcia. It was going to be this cool group of thrill seekers just out here trying to do this thing. But it was like a big deal production-wise, right? We
Drones.
Our PA,
and GoPros.
we had drones. Our PA drove a van all the way up full of gear. We fly like 10 people out, staying in a hotel, huge production. A lot of moving parts, and Rachel had been working on it for months. Anyways, we get to the point where we're shooting. I am like in my bathing suit. I'm getting myself psyched up. Keith is mashing down on this.
Keith, why are they here if I'm not going to eat them? Excuse me.
Wow, I want.
Interruption. Sorry, Nab.
That's all right.
Why are there pastries if I'm not supposed to eat them?
I just love watching covert eating and like really
Into the mic.
sensitive mics.
He's just trying to be
I
very.
have to keep the mic close in case I need to add on to the story. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, continue.
We met our diver expert. He was awesome. we were gonna get ready to, we're seeing people jump off these platforms and like, and right as I'm about to go on for my first interview, it's like we've traveled the day before. Everyone's all ready. All the cameras are on. Rachel comes up to me and she says, "Hey, can you turn off your mic for a second?" And that is usually code for, I have to tell you something very serious. So serious, in fact, that I don't want the sound mixer to hear it. And I'm like, what could this possibly be? Oh, God. Also, I'm unfamiliar with this style of mic pack. It's going to take me a sec to figure out how to turn it off. So I figured it out.
So I threw the mic in the pool.
I threw it in the pool. And right as we were about to go, Rachel says, "Hey, one of our team members tested positive for COVID. What do you want to do?" And I'm like, oh my God, here I'm in my bathing suit poolside, having to suddenly make a massive decision that's going to like have a lot of ripples where we've like gotten all these people to San Francisco, and there's like a lot of uncertainty about COVID. Like, what does it mean? So we identified like who were close contacts. And it is actually like a lot of our crew.
And for background, on our sets, all crew is masked the whole time.
Yeah, all crew is masked the whole
and
time.
And talent is only
our
unmasked
entire company is vaccinated.
And tested before big shoots.
Tested before
Even when
big
we work in
shoots.
the office, everyone works distanced now. Most of the time wears masks, I would say, unless they're fully distanced away,
Yeah. So despite all that, we had a breakthrough positive case. And now all of a sudden, what do? We're in the middle of this thing. Do we cancel the shoot? Do we try and get like negative tests? If we try and get negative tests, they won't come back until the day is basically over. Mm-hmm. Like, what do we do? Are we supposed to like pull out the people who were close contacts? Well, that's 3/4 of the crew. How are we going to do that without it? And even though it is potentially could have been possible for us to rush tests and then keep filming a little bit the way that the day was structured. The dangerous stuff is what we were going to be doing the next day, but we needed to have the training on the bungee cords and the trampolines in order to do the dangerous stuff. So even though we could have gotten a bunch of tests, and if it all comes back negative, we keep proceeding and do the dangerous stuff the next day, then it would be dangerous.
Yeah, right.
For a different reason. So I made the difficult decision to cancel the whole shoot.
But the right decision.
You pulled the crank that said stop on a giant.
And it was really disappointing.
You were Spider-Man
and it felt awful.
grabbing all the buildings and stopping that L train, saying no.
No.
I got to save the train.
Yeah.
Somebody make that meme. Ned, Spider-Man.
Everyone packed up their equipment, separated. We got tests for everyone. Ate tender greens in their own hotel room. It was really sad. And it turns out it was the right decision because everyone was negative except for one person.
Yeah.
Who was positive. So that means there was a little bit of a spread from that one person to the second person.
Yeah. Right.
And if we had kept shooting, it would have continued to put other people at risk. And these are both two people who are vaccinated. So it's kind of like breakthrough cases.
I was in Tennessee when this went down. I also got the text as someone who was in proximity in the week before. But I was at, hilariously, a little Jewish deli in Chattanooga, Tennessee, eating a big old Reuben. It was so delicious, and then I got it, and I was like, "Fuck," because I had just done 2 shows, and I've I've just sung at a bunch of people, so I'm like, okay, I got to get a test right now. We had a show that night, and if I obviously, depending on how I text, we'd have to cancel the show.
Yeah.
So I find a rapid clinic, a little minute clinic nearby, and let me tell you. I've had maybe 75, maybe even 100 COVID tests at this point. Nobody has fucked my face with a Q-tip harder than this woman in Chattanooga. I swear, this woman has never done this before, or she's trying to instill in people to never have to get a test again. Because I left and my nose hurt for about 5 hours. She went like... like a drill. Like she turned her hand into a little drill.
Was it the brain one where they went deep or just exterior.
It was supposed to be a normal
They
one.
fucked his brain out the side of his
And they
skull.
just went hard. I mean, it was so intense. And Alex Lewis was there, and it started. I went, oh, because I made a noise, and Alex was like, "You made a noise." I'm like, "Yeah, man, that fucking hurt." She just hurt me. She like hated me or something.
Maybe she knew who you were. Writing all those horse killing novels.
That's true. They
Exactly.
do love their horses in Tennessee. And then it was negative, thank goodness. We continued there. And I had the craziest Saturday ever. The craziest Saturday. Because it started with us going to Chattanooga, and finding a Jewish deli at all in Tennessee, to me, is a miracle.
Huge.
And it was really good. And then we went to Carthage, the town that I grew up in. I took Lou Berger to see Robert, to see my old house that I grew up in, the woods I would play in as a child. Drove them around to see the church I went to, the grocery store I went to, where the old Walmart was. All that is like a mile of town. So that was it. And then we went to Nashville, ate at a popular Arnold's Meat and Three. And they gave us like one of everything. It was like an eat the menu shoot. We just got one of everything. So Meat and Three is a Southern tradition where it's normally a buffet style restaurant, or I shouldn't say buffet, but
a meat and 3 sides?
Yeah, you got it.
And
You
3.
shouldn't say buffet. You really should.
It's not a buffet because it's what do you call it when you walk down and people
What's wrong
serve
with saying
you
a
food?
buffet?
I don't know. He just
So it's
said
the kind where people serve you food
shouldn't.
and you pay for only the amount of food you buy.
a lunch
Cafeteria
table.
style.
Cafeteria
A Boston
style.
kitchen.
Boston kitchen style. It's cafeteria style, and you get 1 protein and 3 sides. Now you can get as many of whatever you want,
All
but
right.
typically people get 1 protein and 2 to 3 sides. So it's called the Meat and Three. We ate a bunch of delicious Southern food. Went on to do a very, very fun show that started at 10:30. It was our last
PM?
show of our tour, PM. So we finished
I'd
at
be in bed.
midnight. And then we were like hanging out, and everybody who came to that show had to be vaccinated and tested. So that was very nice. And then we hung out with some local comics until 2. But then, of course, it was daylight savings. So then we were allowed to keep staying because those bars do the
the
thing where they
best.
just stay open another hour because now it's 1 o'clock again. So we were out until 3.
They like briefly locked the doors and then immediately opened them again.
And then we got home, and somehow we ended up not going to bed until like 5:30 in the morning. We weren't doing anything.
Which
That's
that
crazy.
that meant it was 6:30 in the morning.
Yes. It was the
The
longest.
life.
And I never
Living the
stay up
life.
late.
Yeah.
I don't know how I had the power and the strength. It was just a magical Tennessee day.
Wow.
And it was also the first time I've drank more than like 3 or 4 drinks in a while. So I was feeling lit. I had some weed, which is not legal in Tennessee, but I don't
Nice.
care. And I had a great time.
That's a blast. I haven't had a long night party like that. I guess since my wedding.
I know, right?
But
It was,
it's-
other than like, I'd say your wedding was
Yeah.
probably the last party I
Yeah,
did.
Right. That's so fun.
I guess that was a month ago. Maybe
That
not
was
2
a month
months
ago. I love partying.
I don't think
Bro,
I'm glad
I don't think I've been in my hometown in a really long time.
you gotta go.
I go
haven't
to I go to
either.
Austin, but I don't go to my hometown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flugelflav.
Pflugerville. Shout out to
Flugelhorn.
anyone who
Pflugerville.
lives in Pflugerville.
Well, speaking of going back home,
Oh, boy.
Eugene, because you're back in the studio
Oh shit.
and you've been, I've been on the tripod for a few months of so.
Yeah.
I thought we would do a special little segment called Eugene. What does this mean?
Okay.
Where we kind of get
like the
your
rhyme.
piping hot take on pop culture that's transpired in your absence.
I like hot takes.
Eugene, what does this mean, Liang? J-Lo and Bennifer, they're back and better than ever. Thoughts?
Oh, so y'all talked about these.
Kind of.
J-Lo and Bennifer.
J-Lo and
Sorry.
The 1.5 J-Lo.
Jennifer Jaffleck.
Bennifer and Affleck.
good for them.
Yeah.
I think that if I take the celebrity context out of it,
Yeah.
what is crazy is that they had a whirlwind romance in like 2001 or something. And
long
then
time ago.
they broke up, both had marriages and kids.
Yeah.
And then got back together 20 years later.
Wow.
So if that was like your friends,
Yeah.
I think that if I took them, the celebrity and all the shit around that, I'd be like, oh wow, that's pretty magical in
I
a weird
agree.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know them personally, but I think it's just a cool.
I'm just trying to imagine me getting together with my high school like freshman year, not senior, freshman year girlfriend. It's not
But they were like adults when they were first together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Hollywood adults, though. You never know how old they are.
But Ben Affleck seems happy.
I mean, like he's not. I don't see as many Dunkin' Donuts photos
Although
as
I
we
like,
used to.
I feel like the culture has really turned around on Ben Affleck, and in a good way. The people like him now. Again.
Yeah, we like him now.
The minute he was with J-Lo,
Yeah.
just everything changed.
Yeah. So, good for them.
Halo effect.
I have a
Good for
question
them.
for the room. When will the boat paparazzi start taking pictures of me semi-naked on a boat? How does that photo happen?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Where are the boat paparazzi? And how do they get so many salacious photos of celebrities hanging out on boats?
Probably when
Yeah.
people start reading about you in the New York Post.
I know that'll happen to me, but I want to know how the boat paparazzi know.
Well, I think they have to.
Like, how are they just cruising?
The paparazzi makes money by selling photos to magazines.
Well, I know that, but how do they know that they're going to be on a boat that day?
Oh,
because
I don't know.
I think I know sometimes they call and
They
say,
probably
"Hey, I'm
stalk
going
them.
here."
Yeah, it's
Come.
either stalking or the publicist will actually,
Yeah,
make
it's
it
Yeah.
happen.
fake.
But I think if you're at the level of someone like Jennifer Lopez, they were following
People
her
are
for
just
sure.
always following you no matter
Yeah,
what.
and I believe the famous photo you're talking about that she later then parodied in a music video
Yeah.
is Ben kissing her booty on the top of a yacht, and that
Pretty hot.
as yachts go. That's probably like near the, somewhat near the shore, so a very long lens could
missed that
probably
one.
capture it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
kissing a booty.
I'm going to
Wow.
be Googling that a little bit.
No, guys, everyone knows this. Jenny
Yeah,
from the
is he-
block.
he's
Everyone-
like-
Miles,
Yes,
can
on
you
the
put it
booty.
up on the big screen?
Yeah.
Let's see the booty.
I will say that I can maybe a Try Guys video is you guys leak your nudes to the paparazzi. You sort
Oh,
of
that's
treat-
already on the internet.
And just see if they do
We didn't
anything
know
with
I
it.
did that.
Let it to the original paparazzi.
or like
We
make
could
it
hire
compromising.
our publicist to
Yeah.
get the paparazzi to take photos of us, maybe.
It's a good video.
Yeah.
Hiring paparazzi.
But
to annoy us
paparazzi
for
are
a
no
full week.
longer really as I mean, if you think about it, not to get dark, and this is actually
Sure.
pop cultural, but as a gay,
Right.
the Free Britney movement,
Right.
A lot of that is also paparazzi centered,
Yeah.
and how terrible they were,
Yeah, horrible.
like
Yeah.
how awful they were,
Bad.
and so paparazzi culture overall is petering out. Like I know one of the last vestiges of it was essentially like a lot of what went down with Britney Spears,
Yeah.
and I mean we're seeing like way too many Princess Diana adaptations right now, but again a very clear example
yeah.
of
Do you
how
think that's because celebrities and influencers are taking control of the posting? Like they're giving so much content of
Exactly.
themselves by themselves.
no one
there's
is
no market
no one's
for a
private
photo.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like essentially the existence of Instagram
You're like, what am I
ruined
going
the
to do with
paparazzi.
this? I don't even care about this blurry photo of a celebrity from.
Because everyone's everyone's their own PR now. So
Yeah.
it's exclusive photos now are no longer I think paparazzi driven. It's more Meghan and Harry had a baby. Who are they selling it to? Not the baby. The
I was
photos.
like, who are they selling it to? That's a good story.
But that's where they make a lot of the money now. Is just like more legit photography.
exclusive.
Right. All right, we got to do a rapid round on a couple of these.
That was actually a very introspective answer.
That was really good.
Miles, could you ever do like a Family Feud style like PowerPoint for us so we play Family Feud? in here?
Absolutely.
Like, and we put it up there. And
Yeah,
then you
I
get
wanna come
to
back
be
for that.
Steve Harvey
Fuck
and go
yeah,
survey
dude.
I am
says.
still waiting on the Ben Affleck.
You want me to pull up the
Booty
booth?
No, guys, this is so. You guys don't remember this?
Ben Affleck
But
fart
Ned
picture.
doesn't. And I want to see it. I want to see it too.
Is Zach the only one who knows pop culture?
Yeah.
While I'm
I know
gone?
pop culture. I'm tuned in to the movement.
Okay, ask the next one, Miles.
Movement.
Megan Fox and MGK. What's up with that?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Good for them.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, what I like about it is that I think Megan Fox was also generally horribly treated by the public.
Yeah,
So I like that
definitely.
people are coming back. I did also see her at the Met Gala, which was cool.
Did you say hi?
Yeah, I did.
What?
Because we were standing. I have way too many casual Met Gala conversation stories, but we'll save it for another time.
Yeah.
But it does help when you're a man in makeup who's clearly just having the blast, just walking up to people, being like, "Hi," and they're just like, "Hey."
Next time, can you go when you go to the Met Gala? Can you make a video called "I went to the Met Gala and mispronounced everyone's name"?
Hi, Megan Fox.
Hi, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Mugen facts.
Megan Fox.
No, but like good for them.
Yeah, I think
I
so,
had
too.
known very little about MGK, so
You don't need to know
I
much.
think I just know that he had a feud with Eminem, and
Yeah.
like yeah, good for them.
You
If
know,
they're happy,
once
they're happy. Whatever.
I was at one of the Black Lives Matter protests last year, and he was marching near us.
That's cool.
So you know,
I think
that was a good thing.
He's interesting.
I don't know him. I really don't know if I know any of his music, but by his name, I think I wouldn't like it. But then I hear it's not very intense at all. But Machine Gun Kelly makes me think it's going to be
SNL,
hard.
and it was less intense than I thought. More
That'd be
melodical.
hard. Like Machine Gun Kelly. That's a pretty intense name.
It's pretty intense, I would say. So up next for this one, we have a little bit of some info.
Oh my gosh!
So-
this is
You never saw this?
So first of all, this is
I remember this.
this is the Ben Affleck butt picture.
I mean, that's
happening?
just
Screen
and
in a
so
screen
they
in a
didn't hire somebody to take that. That's just real.
I don't know. These are pretty salacious.
I mean, these are well composed.
yeah, like look at this. Are you talking about this one butt picture?
Well, this is the remake that they did.
Oh, they did
Oh,
that
really?
for fun?
Yeah.
No way.
That was recently, I think.
No, that was just them. Oh yeah, later on a
Yeah.
boat.
I thought that was them
Look at that.
recently having fun and recreating the moment.
Good for
Wow.
them.
I
Good
love
for
it.
them.
I think this is really fun.
All right, give me the next hot
Okay,
topic.
so up next,
Jeez.
we're gonna react to this TikTok here,
boy.
and because it's next. This next one is about Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian, and I have some thoughts, but also here's some thoughts here.
Are they an item?
This remains to be seen, but this is sort of some info, Eugene, and I'd love your insight on this. Okay, here we go.
All right.
I've only ever honestly been attracted to like 4 men in my life, so I do think I'm the one to settle this. This man, he's attractive. He's also a complete disaster, but he is very attractive to a very specific woman. This woman is likely an overachiever of some sort. She's probably successful, but regardless, she's definitely overloaded in some way. Never know it though, because she pulls it off incredibly well. And she also knows what the fuck she's doing. When she doesn't, she phones an expert. So she gets home, the last thing she needs is anyone explaining anything.
That's
to
right.
her. This man has never said the words "you don't understand" to a woman before in his life. He's fully aware of the disaster he is. He doesn't come home from a day of being trash and criticize dinner like he didn't just spend the day being trash. When she has her
Damn
moments
right.
where she melts down because life is just fucking hard that way, he just has support, not suggestions. Because he knows what most men don't, that he doesn't fucking know. This man is a disaster, but what makes him hot is that he knows he's a disaster.
Thoughts?
That's a good take, I think.
I feel like it's certainly all supposition. Like it's not corroborated by any evidence. But
Yeah.
I think that someone tweeted recently that the Pete Davidson Machine Gun Kelly type is like the manic pixie dream girl for boys.
Yes, I think that's true.
So it's someone who seems really wild and off the beaten path, but is actually very sweet and accessible.
Yeah.
So and very white at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think that's one, Pete and Kim, good for them.
I think that's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting. And
But I
weird.
think there's clearly something like, Pete's probably very sweet or nice or charming to them. And he's
right.
also like an attractive person in general. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Good for them.
I think
The
he's
story
hot.
was convincing. that
I think
she
so,
told.
too. I think
was
it
like,
makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
But he could also just be like, I don't know, fucking hot dude that women are attracted to. Like,
Doesn't he
Yeah.
also have like a massive peener?
Well, now here's the thing about the massive peener.
Big dick energy.
Probably does. But massive peener doesn't make the boy.
No, I'm just saying, but I think all these
Well,
these
Eugene?
women know that he has a massive peener.
Do you think that that's really what's going around?
Yes.
You think that everyone's just like, I hear he has a big hog?
Miles, I've heard of it.
Didn't he
the whole
coin the
internet.
term big dick energy?
or
From
he
the
was
whole
the
internet.
source of a
he
lot
was
of
the
it.
source of that entire idea.
The movement.
I bet if you type in
From the
I bet
Ariana
I bet
Grande
if you
photo.
go to Google search right now,
Yeah.
and you type in Pete Davidson,
Yeah.
one of the top 5 suggestion things will be dick penis related. Some
Yep,
maybe
yep,
even
yep.
peener.
Let's see.
Probably not peener.
Pete Davidson.
I try to use the word peener as
We got
much
net
as
worth.
possible.
We got height.
You have to hit it.
We're
again.
talking the
As in-
autocomplete.
Here we go. Pete Davidson height, girlfriend tattoo.
Where's the dick?
Dang.
I was wrong.
So you're just disgusting.
All right,
no,
maybe.
but you are
Miles,
somewhat
search for
correct
big
about the
dick energy.
conversation. But I think
I think that we might get
And
some
we'll
porn.
get no, we won't.
Big dick. My boss is telling me to search big dick.
Wow, you're right. You're big.
Big dick energy.
Dick
Make sure you add the energy.
energy.
Googling big dick. Who started saying
See,
big dick
there
energy?
you go.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Wow.
B. Davidson's penis gets most of the credit for putting big dick energy on the map. I would say that if a common phrase is inspired by a man's peener, that man has a big peener.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
specifically was a photo that Ariana Grande is like looking up at him while she has like this lollipop. And I think that was the one that really catapulted the coinage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the primary reason women get with him.
No,
I don't
so,
think
too.
it's the primary reason.
Secondary.
But
Tertiary?
I think it's in the first 5 Google search results.
And lastly, Eugene, the thought I need your thoughts on just sort of the Timothy Chalassance that we're going through right now.
Oh, yeah.
Wonka Dune.
Good for him. I also talked to him too.
You did? Yeah. Was he weird?
No, he was cool.
Okay, cool.
We also were in the bathroom, so it was like very casual.
Timothy
cool.
Calumet, so nice to meet you.
But I think he's a good actor. So
I think so too.
I think that's great. And I like that, between him and Tom Holland, like there's some talented young
Definitely.
men doing their thing.
Yeah.
I think he has to go down to call it a renaissance.
That's a good point.
I feel like he's just been like,
I
he's
see.
just been straight up.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Check them out at betterhelp.com/TryPod. Listen, guys, you're driving your car all the time. You have to, keep the car tuned up to prevent bigger issues down the road. Like if you don't change your oil, eventually that oil's going to get all gunky. Your engine's going to explode. Well, going to therapy is like all of these things. It's a routine maintenance for your mental and emotional wellness to prevent bigger issues down the road. And going to therapy doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just means you're investing in yourself to keep your mind healthy. And BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else, but not your mind, not your emotions? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. The TryPod listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/TryPod. That's BetterHelp.com/TryPod.
Yeah.
Are they young or are they just tiny?
No,
Some
he
of-
is-
some
he
of
is-
these men.
He is small of frame, but he does like spark a certain thing like young Leo, like it's a very like kind of like Victorian
I
child
like him. He
aesthetic.
does look like a Victorian person.
Can we Google how tall he is
He's Timothy Chalamet.
on the screen?
Are you Timothy Chalamet?
No, just do it on your thumbs.
Timothy Chalamet height. He's 6'1".
No, he's not.
He's 5'9"
What?
to 6'1".
No,
That's
he's
a big range. That's
he was
the
probably
difference between me
5'9".
and
That's a
5'9".
classic actors put lies
Yeah.
on the internet saying they're taller
so he's
than they are.
5'9".
And I've said this before, but I'd like to
So
see him
he's-
pack on 30 lbs of muscle, just neck, have a thick neck.
Just on the neck?
Yeah,
How are you
don't
going to do
think
that?
I'd
neck
like
and
to see
shoulders.
that.
Neck and shoulders.
He-
I just would like to
change
see
the
him
vibe.
be unbelievably yoked.
I like him. I think he's
actors
very
will probably do
talented.
that once they hit like 35.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
But no, good
So
for
he's
him.
my
He's
height.
really good movies.
Yeah, I think so too.
You can ask me a Squid Game. Wasn't that one of them?
Squid Game.
Yeah.
What about it?
I have so many thoughts about Squid Game.
Same.
Name the main character's name.
Yeah, that's. I'm so sorry. But
For
I
number-
cannot-
Contestant for
4, 5, 6.
56.
56.
Name any of the characters' names.
Contestant number 1.
Ganbu. Not a character's name at all.
Isn't that's something that I'm still fascinated by,
Yeah,
which
no,
is
I absolutely
we
don't know.
read the subtitles and we actually are constantly reading their names. And yet the only character most people know in the Western world is Ali. They'll be like, oh, Ali. And then,
Yeah.
Right,
or
Ali.
the girl or hot cop or
Cho-
the main dude.
Chosun.
Right.
And there's something in
Wasn't
particular
Chosun one of their
about
names?
Korean names that people still they won't register it. And it's
Yeah,
so
that is interesting.
interesting to me. And it kind of harkened back to like, the fact that all my, Korean relatives, my mother and stuff, my mother's name is Min Young. She goes by Min. Father's name is Jae Hong. He goes by Jay. So it's like, and some of them just have American names. And I always wondered, oh, why would you do that? And my mom was always like, because no one's going to remember Min Young. And I was like, it's so easy to remember.
Yeah,
It's
right.
2 syllables. But something about the hyphen throws people off.
Yeah.
I think so. Often I worry that I'm going to mispronounce it. And so I'm like, oh, yeah.
No, but that was one big thing. But watching it, even like with Matt, was a totally different experience for me.
Right.
Even as a Korean American, because I'm not from Korea, but I'm very Korean culturally. So there were small like details that were very particular that I know there are a lot of like think piece videos and articles about it.
Sure.
And I don't think the translation was terrible. It was just like it's the problem with translating any language or culture into English is really difficult. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting because I had a lot of different takeaways after episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the American actors were so egregiously horrible. I
Comically bad.
It felt like a choice.
Yeah, like I'm wondering, were those just actors that were in Korea when they were casting it, and there's not that many like white actors like that are older?
It could have been a combination. I feel like because a lot of it was also the writing that it was a choice.
Yeah.
Because they were like campishly villainous.
It was written, the rest of it was written so well. It was
like, 69. Oh, that's my number for reasons. Where's my cigar and my wine and whiskey and the butt? Where's the butt, boy?
What's so funny is that when I was watching
I'm an
it,
imperialist.
I never thought like this is such bad acting. I just thought this is ridiculous. It didn't translate to me as bad acting because it seemed like it was purposefully ridiculous.
I ended up taking it better just because I was looking at it in the full context of the show. But it's also because the core acting is so good.
You're right, exactly.
Of course. That you get flipped. But it's interesting. I watch so many, like I watch most of the Netflix like East Asian shows. We watched Alice in Borderland. We watched Kingdom. I watched the previous or the new My Name K-drama, which is really good.
Yeah. The zombie
Kingdom.
Is
Yeah.
that yeah.
So it's interesting because they're all really great. And when I watched Squid Game, I watched it like the first 2 days after it came out. And then I didn't talk about it because I was like, no one's going to talk about it. No one talked to me about the other K-dramas that came out.
I know it's
Eugene just texts Becky and I because we're the
I'm like,
ones who will
watch this.
Who will watch it because we really liked Alice in Borderland.
Everyone was really surprised when it did super well.
with number 1 in 90 countries or
And
whatever.
That's almost all of them.
most
Which is
watched
fucking
show in
baller.
Netflix
I was just
history.
like, so I think that was also why it was fun to watch because it was like, one, it's just about how like capitalism's a nightmare, but then also it's just that everyone in the world was watching it. It was so cool.
I think it hit the
It's like Pokemon Go.
yeah.
It hit the capitalism
It's
nerve.
just like Pokemon.
The capitalism nerve was just for sure there, but I also think that, I mean, we've seen many survival dramas, like from Battle Royale all the way up to the renaissance in the early
Hunger Games.
2000s of Hunger Games and Maze Runner, etc. But I think the part of this was also the design was what grabbed people.
Oh yeah, it was visually beautiful.
It wasn't
and wild.
Yeah, it was dystopian mentally, but it was like not physically. It was
pop art.
It was pop art.
It was cartoonish.
and
It
in
was-
ways I think that really spoke to especially like this generation's like the tastes. It was very brightly colored, which I think made it more sick in the end.
Don't you just want to go to a place with so many staircases and just run around?
Oh, that was my favorite set. Yeah,
I was like, I want
All the doors that open to nowhere.
Where do you? How do you get from that staircase to that staircase? I can't wait to find out.
We have our Squid Games in real life video coming out
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Keith is a giant robot girl.
I'm the robot girl.
I thought you looked like Nigel Thornberry from the Wild
I
Thornberries.
think,
The
I think
mustache
the
is
mustache throws off the look.
terrifying.
Well, it's the mustache,
Pretty
and I saw
hard.
the orange, so I just like kind of. I was like, who does he remind me of right now? You would make a great Nigel Thornberry.
I can't do the voice though. Ned would be better for the voice if he was familiar with the cartoon.
Only vaguely.
Oh, he wasn't a Nicktoon boy.
Yeah.
Is that Dora the Explorer's dad? No.
No, but you know,
Could be.
some similarities.
Anyway,
Wow.
everyone go look up the characters' names. Squid Game.
Thornberry. Is that perfect?
Not the worst.
Not the worst.
actually.
It's kind of similar to your tone.
But you know, maybe some of our listeners need some advice. Maybe it could be related to impressions, but probably not. And you know, we got a good old advice giver here. It's Miles. Advice will go for Miles with Miles.
Welcome back, Eugene. This one's gonna be fucking huge.
You waited till now to start eating. That thing has been there
Only segment.
for so long, and now
You had one job.
Now you're eating.
Now you're
A
eating.
little more.
Have you guys seen that SNL guy that does the impressions?
Which guy?
James Austin Johnson.
Oh, he's amazing.
Oh, he's really good.
Is he really
Okay, here we
good?
go. All right.
All right, shut the fuck up.
What's up, Miles Nation? How y'all doing tonight?
Woo. Yeah.
Applause.
Have you ever wanted to relax?
Yeah. Are you going to talk about a float tank?
Have you ever wanted to go to the mall, but the mall is made of meat.
I'm sorry. Of what?
Meat.
The mall is made of meat
That's never happened.
and
to me.
mayo and pickle and pizza and cold beer, colder than you've ever tasted.
Oh, you're talking about
Hey.
that Italy restaurant, the Italy store shop, right?
Have you ever wanted to go
Yeah.
to another land?
Yeah, it's going to be about Italy.
Experience the cuisine of rice
Oh,
That was a twist.
maybe
and sushi
Little Tokyo.
Oh, boy.
and watermelon and candies. And you want to walk from one culture to the next
Always talking about Epcot.
with the
Or just like your general downtown like bazaar that has all the different restaurants.
What if I could told you What if I could told you
Is your
that
advice to walk down the street?
What if I could told you
Go
that
to a city.
Go to a city and walk down the street.
New York.
What if I could told you that you can do all that from the comfort of your own store?
The grocery store? You telling us to go to a grocery store?
Saying they-
Because that is believably.
Sometimes I
You
go
ever
a
been
little-
down to the aisle that has...
Sometimes I'll go
all
on a
the-
staycation at my local grocery store.
Wow.
And I'm asking for you to go. Don't have an agenda, Ned. I know Ned's going to go with an agenda. Go.
Yeah, I feel that
Most
too.
people do.
He's going to be like, I need this and this and this.
Go with a list even.
Don't even go with a list. Because if you have a list, you're a chump. And if you go with
No, you're not.
So my advice to you is after you've done your shopping, maybe a day later, 2 days later, full fridge stocked, everything at home is
You
going.
don't even need anything.
You don't need anything.
Go to the grocery store.
Go to the grocery store and just peruse the culture.
Just
Walk around, see.
Just walk the one aisle that they put all of the international foods in all together.
You
Like
can walk
as if
any
it's
aisle, is
just
what I'm
all
saying. You can go to
together.
the deli, you can say whatever, but make sure it's a fancy grocery store.
Okay, that's a big difference.
But I'll say that any grocery store will do, but a fancy grocery
So
store
it is about
like-
Italy.
It's about going to a grocery store and just saying, wow, look at all that food.
Okay, I got something for you, Miles.
All right.
You live on the east side.
Get it?
I want you to drive further east and go one of the further east H Marts.
Yeah,
Oh, I
H-Mart,
love
baby.
H-Mart.
The ones out there though have full food courts
Oh, that's fucking baller.
with like probably 8 different vendors. I'm not even exaggerating.
cool.
And there's like Korean barbecue, there's soups, there's pastries, there's desserts. Like it is amazing.
yeah.
Just for the food court.
I love the, yeah. I
A
love-
common joke amongst Asian Americans is, why do we keep telling white people about Asian grocery stores?
You shouldn't
They've
because they're
discovered
amazing.
them.
So good.
And the trick is the produce is the same, but it's way cheaper.
Way cheaper,
Yeah.
and they have way more varieties of mushrooms.
Yeah, and
Oh, they
way
have
more fruits.
gnocchi mushrooms.
12 types of mushrooms
Yeah.
minimum.
And you can get like that sometimes on a blue moon. You can get that shit at Whole Foods, but it's like fucking $20.
Oh, it's so expensive. And cabbages.
yeah.
Did you know there's multiple blank choice? We have bok choy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 30.
There's different choice.
There's sun choy. There's some other choy.
I think as bok choy is a word
Oh.
in Chinese. I might be totally wrong, but I think it's something very general.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not like, I think it's just something so general that there are easily different varieties.
Bok choy, nok choy,
Rock choy.
rock choy.
And Roy, and Roy choy.
What's up, we're Rock Joy?
I would say the one place I do that naturally in any grocery store, even with a list, is the ice cream aisle.
Yeah.
Do you? Maybe this is everyone, but once you get all your stuff, and then your thought process goes, maybe
Yeah.
I should
Maybe
treat
I should get
myself
something
to
frozen.
ice cream.
There is the
And
I
I
deserve a reward.
And then and then that's where I finish all my groceries within 10 15 minutes, and then I'll stand in front of the ice cream for like a good 30 minutes just staring at the varieties, and then going like, oh, what's that brand? Oh, maybe I should get Halo Top because that's like less calories. No, I don't want to eat that.
I'm not eating this for
point?
less
You know, Miles,
And then I leave with no ice cream.
Yeah.
I think this is okay advice.
Hey!
This is good advice,
This one's
I'd say.
You kind of said it in a weird way, as per usual.
Yeah.
But like, you go to the grocery store with the list, you're doing a chore.
Chump.
You're not a chump. You have to. You have
Regular
to.
member of society.
You have to do your chores sometimes.
Sheep.
But if you go to a grocery store with an open mind, maybe even an empty stomach, which that can be dangerous.
Dangerous.
But
Yeah.
treat the grocery store experience as a way to get inspiration about what potentially you should cook.
I do that all the time. I typically, even this, like normally if it was going to be a weekend and people might come over, I'll be like, where we should have dinner? I'm like, well, let's just go to the store, see what's on sale, and let
dinner come to you.
Inspiration will happen.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, you have to know what you're doing. You
Right,
can't,
yeah.
like, buy a bunch of random stuff and expect to turn it into a meal.
No, you typically go get a hero protein
Yep.
and design the rest of the dish around that.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I'll say that I think I'm going to the grocery store a little dehydrated because I'm always in the fruit section looking for the wateriest fruits. You should drink. Oh, what about a watermelon? Or
Grocery stores make you thirsty.
Maybe you're just generally dehydrated.
I think I am.
Miles.
Yeah. Piss is
Cold
just a
brew does
dark
not
color.
hydrate you.
Just like that delicious egg yolk.
Yeah, exactly.
You got horny piss. You missed our egg conversation, Ned.
Oh, shit.
Or you might not have because it might be in the afterpod.
Well, we're going to keep talking about eggs on the Afterpod. Join our community at patreon.com/tryguys. You can become a Triceratops today, support the show, and get access to one extra podcast a week.
Plus, this winter, you're going to get a behind-the-scenes series about Without a Recipe. There's lots of extra bonus content coming through there, so lots of cool stuff to see. Cool stuff to hear.
Yeah, if you've met Jake on the Discord, our new Patreon creative associate is making stuff for you on Patreon.
And I will be joining again next week. Yeah, for our special colonizers episode.
Oh,
Thanksgiving alert.
haha.
Fun. Well, Keith, hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
Well, Keith, hit us with the official TryPod. Wow, you can't NT yourself up.
NT yourself
Someone will do it for you. Yeah, let me do it. Well, Keith, hit us with that official TryPod theme song.
I'm gonna rent a boat with my honey. I'm gonna call the people with the photo camera. I'm gonna put my hand on her booty. And then I'm gonna be in the papers, mama. This is the TryPod.
Until next time, stay beautiful.